Good to go.
Hello, everyone. You're so welcome to our 10:30 session of our Hospitality and Tourism Virtual Career Series here at DKIT. This session has been hosted by MHL Hotel Collection, who have an seriously impressive collection of hotels and venues where you're going to hear about. We're joined this morning by Sinead McGlennon, who is Group Learning Manager, Sarah Dalzell, who is Group Director of HR, and Alberto Rossi, who just made it in the nick of time, their Executive Chef with Intercontinental Dublin. So look forward to hearing all of your different sections of the presentation this morning. As with all sessions, again, we really do encourage you to drop any questions you have or any comments into the chat or questions function, and we'll have some time at the end of the presentation to address those. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Sinead, who'll take us through the presentation. Thanks, Sinead.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Catherine. It's great to join you all today, and thanks for your own time so that we can proudly show you our fabulous collection, one that we are quite rightly proud of, and hope that we can entice you to join us because we have some fantastic opportunities, and that's what we're going to demonstrate for you today. So kicking off, Sarah's going to bring you through the first part of the presentation. So over to Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sinead. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. Really, the idea of our presentation is to tell you a little bit more about the MHL Hotel Collection, to discuss the opportunities that we have available, whether it be graduate opportunities or placements, some of the huge benefits of joining our team, how you can apply, and some of the gainings you can get. And then obviously there'll be an opportunity, as everyone has said, for questions at the end. So who are we? These three gentlemen on screen are the partners of MHL. The first gentleman you see at the top is John Malone, who is a silent partner in the whole MHL collection. He's a financial. He's provided the support at the beginning for John Lally and Paul Higgins, who are the two other gentlemen. That's it. That's MHL collection. The three partners there, mainly two Irish gentlemen who are very heavily involved in the whole hotel operation, the day-to-day, very present, very approachable, liked by our team, that you can talk to them openly and honest. As has been said, we are 12 hotels. We like the fact that all are different. We have, you'll see in the background of me, I have Paris Court Hotel, Sinead has the Westin. We also have the Intercontinental Hotel. We have then Glenlow Abbey in Galway. We have the Spencer Hotel, a full range. And pride ourselves on the fact that no matter which hotel you go in, they're all very different. We don't want it to be that it's a standard, no matter which MHL hotel you go into, you experience the same. It's nice that it's a different experience. And there you'll see on the collection there is on the map is all a list of the different hotels. So a number of 5-star, 4-star hotel. And then our recent purchase, which was the Moxie Hotel in Dublin. Part of all that probably many of you have spotted is that we also run with a number of brands. So while they're all owned by the MHL Hotel Collection, we also run with different brands. We have 3 Marriott hotels. We have the Intercontinental Hotel and we have the Hilton. We are all franchise properties. So that allows us to have the name above the door, but very much control the day-to-day runnings of the hotel, which works very nicely. It means we can have that unique MHL say over the properties. I will hand you over now to Sinead to talk a little bit more in detail about each of our properties.
So this is going to be your career/travel brochure as I spin you around the MHL collection, just so that you don't waste an awful lot of time traveling around the country. Here you can do it virtually. So kicking off with my background, which is the Westin Dublin, part of the Marriott group, was originally Starwood, for those of you that can remember that far back to 2016. So massive merger, and now we have Marriott, which is a mega hospitality company. So ideally located in the centre of Dublin, this is a 5-star hotel and has one of the most prettiest and impressive banquet rooms, the banking hall in Dublin, which is really quite quite an impressive location for a function. Not big, but has certainly the wow factor. Moving along then, we have Alberto's home, the Intercontinental, not the home that you can see behind him today. That's his leisure home, but his working home. Tell us a little bit about the Intercontinental, Alberto.
Well, the Intercontinental, it started as a Four Seasons back in 2002 and then became part of the MHL family about 7, 8 years ago. And obviously MHL invested a huge amount of money to bring it up to kind of contemporary standards. There's been huge investments in the room, huge investment in all the common area, a good bit of investment in the kitchen. So as Sarah said, because the owners, especially Paul, Mr. Higgins and Mr. Lally, they are always around the hotels, they can see if the place needs investment. And we are very lucky that they are always on it, you know. So it's a big hotel. We have about 208 rooms and it's one of the biggest spaces in Dublin for events. We have a big ballroom that can do up to about 450 people. And then we have a smaller room that does 200, so all the weddings up in there. And then we have a couple of small rooms. And then we have a season restaurant. So there's about 4 outlets: season restaurant, lobby lounge, the whiskey bar, ice bar, and the reading room. And all offer a variety of food offerings. So, you know, being a hotel is always a bit difficult to compete with standalone restaurants. So we have to be always fresh. But it's a fantastic property. And if anybody wants ever to come, even just have a look or have a stroll around, you know, let me know and I'll be more than happy to welcome you and show you around.
Fantastic. Thanks, Alberto. So moving on now to Wicklow and Powerscourt Court, one of the most impressive hotels in Ireland. Its location is fantastic and it offers fantastic views within the Powerscourt Court estate itself. So it's still part of that family estate. It is based on the Irish Claddagh Ring. So you'll see these sort of two arms that embrace the view of the Sugarloaf Mountain in Wicklow. 5-star as well. It has the spa, S-Spa linked also to our other properties. So we have continuity with our spa offering, which is fantastic. And like Alberto has said, our owners are not shy about getting the checkbook out to upgrade the facilities. It's very important that, you know, aesthetically, we are up with the best of them, if not leading. And so we've just done an awful lot of renovation as well in Powerscourt Court with the Seeker restaurant. And no doubt more to come. We just haven't seen the drawings. Trinity City, so back into Dublin. This really is a bedrooms hotel with the reverse of, say, Intercon and Powerscourt Court. It doesn't have massive conference and banqueting spaces or food and beverage spaces. It really is about staying somewhere well-designed, brilliantly located, but you're going to enjoy Dublin. So it's obviously, it's big. It's got 262 rooms. So that's the top end for our collection. And it is a real collection in itself of bedroom types, architecture. So we have Georgian terraces at the front on Pearse Street, and then a contemporary build at the back, increasing our bedroom stock. And then this fantastic little hideaway courtyard where on a sunny day with a glass of something chilled, fabulous. We don't get to do it enough, but we're very jealous when we see others doing it. Hilton Dublin. So back to one of our other brands, Hilton Charlemont. So Hilton, well known. And this would have been a very busy hotel for our corporate traveler, our meetings and events. So that level of business is slowly coming back, we're delighted to say. So pandemic, rear view mirror, we won't go on about it. Everybody else does. But Hilton is also where we're having our staff accommodation now, which is a new innovation for us, for our overseas and hopefully some of our placement students as well that will be joining us. So we've converted spaces in Hilton, and you're going to see a little video later on just showing the employee accommodation and offering, and that's located handily in Charlemont. So straight on the Lewis, we can access all parts of the city, super easy. The Spencer Hotel is on the other side of the river, down by the National College of Ireland, the CCD, Street Arena. So it really has a very strong corporate business mix. It has a health club. It was extremely popular as soon as the hotels could open. for those weekend stays, enjoy yourself. We added 40 rooms quite recently. So again, constantly sort of renovating and improving our offering. It was initially part of the Fitzpatrick Lifestyle group of hotels. So it has at the moment a Pan-Asian fusion sort of restaurant offering, although I understand that plans are afoot to change that. And internally, they're running a little competition to rename and redesign their restaurant. So potentially you could be part of that new change. Morgan Hotel brings us to Temple Bar. So this was also a sister property initially to the Spencer Hotel. We really wanted to change the style and aesthetic of the Morgan. It was very much of the 90s. It was very minimalistic. It was very white. It didn't have that warmth and style that the MHL collection would be known for. So they instilled the skills of Nikki O'Donnell, closed the hotel for about 6 months, and really did a massive sort of facelift on its lobby area, its bar area, really bring it up to more sort of New York style cocktail supper club, luxury in the heart of Temple Bar is what we were looking for, and they've achieved it. So we have some great team members, and if F&B and mixology is your leaning, then we have a great team member there, Rui, who is bonkers about cocktails and likes to share his enthusiasm with all who are willing to listen and learn. And at the moment, he's actually training one of our colleagues from Glenlow Abbey. So we have great collaboration within the team to share knowledge. Knowledge is always best shared, as you know. New kid on the block, Moxie. So Moxie joined us in May of this year. So even though the world was shut, it doesn't mean we weren't busy. So we acquired the Moxie. And this is a brand new brand and style for MHL collection. It's very much targeted at the younger traveler, the more independent traveler who wants a stylish, safe, fun, secure location in the city, but really isn't going to be in the hotel that much because they're enjoying the city. So from a bedroom perspective, it's very minimal. You won't really get a corporate traveler in here. Nobody really wants to work on a shelf. So it's about fun, shared spaces. You could be working on front desk, then you're going to be making a cocktail, and perhaps then you're just going to be sitting down and shooting the breeze with the guys. So it's a one-size-fits-all for the ground floor team, which is fantastic. It's great fun. Off to Galway. So the complete polar opposite of the Moxie. This is a resort, estate-style property. So in this location, you really just don't want to leave. So it's the reverse of the Moxie. It's about de-stressing, luxury, but you're only 3 km outside of the city. So you do have access to Galway, best of both worlds. We've added on more bedrooms. We've added on a new spa. They're working on a new walled garden. If you fancy a unique dining experience, we have a fine dining train, essentially. The Pullman coaches, they don't go anywhere. Obviously, can you imagine trying to serve while it's pootling around the estate? It would be a horror show. Alberto would come out in a cold sweat at the thought. But it is a fantastic sort of atmospheric experience. So you have casual bistro dining inside of the house, then a fine dining. So you have options, which means that you don't get bored of your stay. There's always something to do, which is extremely important. The Gaumont is right in the centre of Galway, just on Loch Italia there. This is a big hotel. As you can see from the picture there, it's a big footprint. And it was initially a Radisson, and then it was rebranded by MHL on purchase. It really has a rather large conferencing, so just shy of 1,000 people can be catered for. It also has a very well-known spa. We've done some work upgrading all of the bedrooms. And also for our staff accommodation in Galway, it's located at this hotel. So we're looking at really attracting talent, not only from student population here, like yourselves, our own national talent, but also internationally. So we're really targeting professionals from Europe as well as at home. Marina's restaurant overlooks the water. It's in all honesty, it's probably a little bit tired now. So we really are looking at upgrading that just to bring it to the standard of the rest of our properties. And we look forward to seeing that revelation in the not too distant future. Just around the corner, quite literally just by the train tracks and onto the docks, then we have the Harbour Hotel. This is a boutique style hotel for us, 96 bedrooms, has undergone its own refurbishment, as you can see from the bottom image there. Very modern, beautiful use of space, shared spaces, and they have their own bar and restaurant, which they named Dillisk on the Docks, because actually where the hotel was located, they would land seaweed as a crop, essentially. So they kept the story of the location, the story of the area, and they bring that into the hotel to create its sort of own sort of imagery. Off, finally, we go to Limerick. So the Strand, Limerick, is, as you can see, fabulously located right on the banks of the River Shannon. The views are spectacular. We can see King John's Castle, you can see the river, you see Thomond Park, and it would have a huge reputation in the city for its dining, its service, hospitality, and it has its own leisure centre and a fantastically located rooftop sort of meeting and event space where you can look out at the whole of the city. So we're spoiled for choice. That's the moral of the tale today. So we really have something for everybody, whether you want to learn in an independent hotel or whether you want to have exposure to one of our brands. We have the best of both. So I'll pass to Sarah now. She'll delve deeper into our options.
Thank you very much, Sinead. So for those of you that hopefully now have sold into all those exciting properties that we have, the opportunities we have available are wide and varied. For those of you that are interested in the culinary side or the food and beverage, or maybe it's the rooms, we will be delighted to give you that opportunity. The huge benefits as well is that we have people who join us on placement who may start in one hotel and finish their placement in another of our properties. So there's a number of experiences that can be had. We tend to focus in within one area, whether it be rooms or food and beverage. And we offer you then the opportunity to move around the different departments within that division. Or as I said, the opportunity then to even move to some of our other hotels as well. As you can see, 12 hotels, 12 very different options, opportunities, operations that you can all be part of. And whether it be a 6, 9, 12-month placement, or also it could be a graduate opportunity. If you're interested in a management training program, we also offer that as well. And again, on an 18 to 24 month again, within a Pacific sort of division, but again, that exposure to our other properties as well. We also have those non-operational departments. So whether it be human resources, finance, or events, they are not excluded from the opportunities of placements or our management trainee programs. So please give some thought and let us know. So those of you that are interested, the next steps that you need to do are to send off your identification, send your CV to Sinead McGleenan. The address is there on the screen. Certainly you can reach out to the college, they'll let you know. Let us know where you're looking, what area you would like to apply, if there's a hotel that you're particularly interested in. Otherwise, we can certainly look at allocation. You'd complete the recruitment process and then we welcome you on board. I will hand you over to our very own Alberto Rossi, our expert this morning.
Very good. So if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer anything that concerns F&B, either kitchen or even F&B operations.
What's a normal day like for you, Alberto? What do you get up to?
Well, every day is different, and that is kind of the fun of the job because there are some days that you're going to be busy from the get-go. So, it's important to wake up in a positive way, and go to work full of will. And, although sometimes the busy day has been scheduled and organized and you have everything down to a T, sometimes the job throws you a little surprise, and that is good too because it keeps you on your toes. For example, this week we were not supposed to be busy in the Intercontinental, but then we started to pick up all these different events. And the good thing of working within a team, like in the kitchen, where you have to rely on each other, you have to create this. It's not only a work relationship. I call it's a friendship. It's like being in a family where you can rely on your colleagues, and in that there is growth. Because if you were to do every day the same thing and everything is neatly organized by somebody, and you just go in and you do your little homework and then you're finished, you don't expose yourself to a situation where you have to think on your feet. And I think that is what a lot of people don't talk about working in hospitality, how quick you have to be, situations arise and you really need to think on your feet. You can have all the training in the world with Sinead or with Sarah, but then at the moment when you're on the floor, you're on the kitchen, that's where your personality comes out. And you can really see the people that are natural to work in hospitality, where you might be panicking inside, but you keep a cool head and you're like, yeah, no problem, sir, I'll look after it. And then you go in and you melt, It's like people always say, when you go in one of these hotels, that the operation is so smooth, you only see the top of it, but then the duck is actually struggling under, but you're struggling within your team. And I find it rewarding. I started as a chef when I was 16. I go to school in the morning and then work in the evening in the restaurants in Milan, in Italy. And looking back, I've never thought that my career would go the way it's gone. Sometimes you might draw yourself a path. I want to do this, I would like to do that, I want to cook this way, I want to work with this person. But sometimes it just goes a different way. For example, I've been in the Intercontinental back and forth a good bit of time. I think 11 or 12 years now. Sarah remembers me from when I joined Four Seasons in 2002. And over time, a lot of the guys that I work with, they became friends, confidence, but also the fact that a lot of them have been then deployed in other hotels, in other MHL hotels. So for example, Steven, that is the executive chef at the Westin, that at the moment is closed for renovation but is reopening. He was part of the team for many, many years. And to be able to see somebody coming in young, you would say, with not much experience, and then to grow this way, it gives you pride, and I only wish him the best. He's my friend, put it that way. He's a friend that we talk to each other and everything. And now next Tuesday we're going to go to Chapter 1 to have dinner, so there's going to be a great catch up, isn't it? And then at the moment we have Ellen that is with us a good amount of years, and she was in DIT, I believe, and she started with a placement years ago. I would say about 6 or 7 years ago. She joined us, she stayed with us 2 years, and then she was able to join Patrick Gibbons for a year. So she went and she did her 2 Michelin star experience for a year. And then when she had that sorted and that ticked off, she said, Alberto, I would like to come back to work in the Intercontinental. And now, she's exposing herself to go out to other properties, because at the moment she's at the Galway Harbour for these 2 weeks. And she sent me this text saying how great it is to be in a different kitchen, to be able to work with different people, to see different way of organization. You have to expose yourself to different ways of thinking. And as Sarah and Sinead mentioned, that every property has its own identity. Sometimes you might think, but that's is the best thing ever, because if we all went to work and we all had the same menu and the same recipe and the same way of greeting on the phone, there will be no personality. Instead, MHL allows you to come there and, I have an idea, why don't we try to have a look at it? And everybody has their own style. I know all the executive chefs of all the properties, and everybody has their own style. Then when we get together, it's very difficult to conversate, because everybody is, but it's great. It's great, and when I went to visit all the different properties, it's great to have another chef that you can talk to, because sometimes can be a bit stressful, the job, and it's great to have somebody that you can confide with, that you can talk about it and say, how did you deal with this situation? because as many people that wants to work in the kitchen, they start with the will of cooking, but then the job, as you progress in your career, develop into something else. So then sometimes you're like, oh, but I only wanted to cook. But you have to be able to understand finance. You have to understand a bit of HR because you're managing people. And for me, that is, I like working within a team. During lockdown, some of us were kept on, obviously. And what I missed the most was the crack in the kitchen. Coming in the morning, have the little chat of what happened yesterday. A lot of the times, TV programs or magazines and articles don't really describe the atmosphere in a professional kitchen correctly. There's brotherhood there. Everybody's in the same and for the same. It's one of those jobs that you really do only if you have that passion for cooking, because you don't last long if you don't have that passion, because you have to work nights, your birthday, your wife's birthday, but it's part of it, and it rewards you so much. It's great. I always say I'm lucky. I do not only the job that I wanted to do, but I fulfill my passion, and not many people can say that. So it's a lovely career to throw yourself in.
Well, Alberto, you have done a fantastic job in selling it, I'd say, not only to me, but to everybody else who's tuning in. And I'll tune into your YouTube channel if you have one as well.
I'm really passionate about the job I do. Don't take me wrong, there are days that are very tough. Maybe some of the toughest days, I'll always remember, it's a story I tell to almost everybody that comes to the kitchen. I said, I keep all the resignation letters that I received over the years since I became a manager. And I always remember the first 2, 3, 4 people that left and they resigned. And, the obvious letter is, Dear Alberto Rossi, or Dear Chef Alberto. And I took it personal, because I thought they were leaving me, and so then it forces you to try and grow also the way that you deal with people, But back in the days when I started, there was no conversations around emotional intelligence and trying to understand the people that you work with, empathize. It was like you go in and you do, that's it, no questions, but now all this is part of it. You need to be able to get in touch with every different person. And Ireland is great because there's such a diversity of culture. When I came here the first time, I was able to work with Indonesian people that in Italy I would have never had the chance to meet. And not only meet their culture, but eat their food. My God. I can make a fantastic risotto and fantastic gnocchi and pasta, but no chance I would ever learn how to eat Asian food or Indian food if I never came to Ireland. And now I can do it myself. So you have it's great. It sounds like I'm trying to sell, but it's I tell you, it's
I think what it is it's the natural passion, and I suppose many who are tuning in will be inspired by what you're saying. Hopefully, relate to it too, regardless whether they're in culinary, whether they're in other areas of hospitality, event management, and tuning into what this business is about, which is about people and exposure. And I think what you've been able to summarize yourself, Alberto, but also what Sinead and Sarah have done is shown what MHL Hotel Collection Group can expose you to in terms of the different types of experiences. Absolutely. And the exposure to different types of areas. So I think that's really important takeaway for people tuning in today.
Very good.
Yeah. So how to apply, back to that second last slide, I think it is email you directly, Sinead, for students who are interested. We know we will have students going out on placement who are primarily, I think, will be the first cohort of people who will be applying. And then there will be those who will be maybe tuning in, they're in their final year, they're looking for graduate positions, and will be approaching you directly. Should they in their email state the types of areas that they're particularly interested in? One of the groups, one of my colleagues, Janet, is leading a class group at the moment, and a question came in from one of the students saying HR is a particular interest for that student. Would that be something, how would they put that forward to you?
Yeah, so if you email me directly, I'm going to filter on behalf of all the hotels. So if you can just give me your primary departmental area that you wish to apply to, and then if you wish to go, say, to Galway for a placement or Limerick, or you want to come to Dublin, just give me your location options and preferred hotels. And I will reach out then on behalf of the applicant just to ascertain where we have the options. And then I will then pass that over to the on-site HR, and they will pick that up to arrange an interview and a meeting with the department heads just to bring that forward. But I'm the central sort of filter, if you will. So all applications come to me, placement, graduate opportunities, or any just questions that they feel weren't answered today.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much to each of you. I'm sure that the students who've tuned in and those who are watching back on demand will be inspired to get their applications going, and will look forward to that. As I say, full inbox, Sinead, in terms of applications. Thank you so much for being part of this group or this presentation today and supporting DKIT and our graduates.
No, thank you for the opportunity. It was great to see you virtually.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.